Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Getting the Stop podcast. My name is Derek. This is Saspin. First name Sassy, last name Pin. Say hello, Saspin.
Yo,
We are back. It has been a very long time. Not really too much to say about that. Life is lifing for the both of us. I know that is a fact. We're both college students. We both get to watch the games, but we don't always get to talk about it as much as we would like. Um, but yeah, how are you doing, Saspin?
tired always. I'm good.
Oh, always relatable. We have a really good one in store for you guys tonight. It's funny when we decided to do this podcast last season. Excuse me. We basically said, hey, before we start, we were like, yo, do we want to talk about the Giants or do we want to talk about the entire NFL? And we were sitting there, Giants were like, oh, in a billion. And we were just like, why don't we talk about the NFL? And tonight, it is Saturday night. It's actually Sunday morning, technically. It's 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's Sunday for me. But Saturday night, following the Thursday night game for the Giants, and we're just going to mostly talk about Giants. We're going to do a Thursday night recap. We're going to talk about how joyful we are to be Giants fans. We're going to give our own personal rookie grades and a reaction to their performances. We're going to compare that to the PFF grades. I know there are some. I know I personally have some disagreements with how the PF grades are laid out. PFF can be PFFing. Talk about some other standout performances, and then we're gonna talk about realistic expectation for the Giants, and we'll talk about we'll look at the remaining schedule, and we'll think about what games we can pull and what games we're gonna lose. We'll gauge our confidence there, and as always with all of our episodes, we will talk about the full Sunday predictions, Sunday and Monday night game predictions. So we'll kind of run through all the games pretty quickly, and we will talk about who we think are gonna take those games. And I have a feeling we said we would be an NFL podcast and not a Giants podcast. I feel like the more the Giants play well, the more we're going to be just become Giants podcasts. I feel like we're just going to talk more and more about the Giants if they start playing better and better. And we have a lot to talk about with them as of now. So tonight's a Giants episode mostly. So I hope you're happy for that right now. So Sassman, I'll let you kind of kick us off here. What was your immediate reaction to the Thursday night game? The Giants taking down the Eagles, a billion to not as much. What was the final score? 34-17. What was your reaction to that
It was a short-lived happiness followed by, damn, we might just do what we did against the Chargers and just start losing again. Because I don't know, this team's weird. Every time we win, I think we have a chance to start maybe going on a run, but you never know with the Giants. We always seem to find a way to lose, especially when we should have won against New Orleans because they're obviously one of the worst teams in the league. But I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think the term you're looking for is volatile. I feel like we have a pretty high highs and the lowest of lows. We saw it in Dallas where we put up a almost a 40 spot on Dallas and lost heartbreakingly to a 6 million-yard field goal in overtime by Brandon Aubrey. Um, and then we kept the Chiefs in check um, to 22 points. But we had a nursing home resident at quarterback and couldn't put up more than 9. So yeah, so that's I think the term is volatile with this team. I feel like we have really really high highs and really really low lows. And if you look back at our performances, we have for the most part aside from Dallas, we have kept so far the offenses of the opposing teams in check. Ignoring our scores for right now, we kept the Washington Commanders at 21. That's within the ability to win the football game. We already talked about Dallas. We should have won that game if it wasn't for the iron leg of Brandon Aubrey.
I hate
Kansas
that
City
guy.
Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, we kept them to 22 points. That is within the realm of winning that game. That is winnable. You can win that football game keeping the Kansas City Chiefs to 22 points. We beat the Chargers. We kept them to 18 points. We kept them under 20. We could have beat the Saints. We had so many mistakes. We scored two really quick touchdowns, and we ended up losing 26-14. 26, although a little loftier, is still within the realm for a good football team to beat that team. And obviously we beat the Eagles, keeping them to only 17 points, the lowest amount of points that we have held any team to this season, by the way. Um, so yeah, I agree with you. There's definitely this idea of what if, or not what if, like what now, basically. Like, we've done so well now, it's like, but we've watched this movie before, right? We've seen the Giants beat teams that we shouldn't beat, and then we go on a 9-game losing streak, and we're like, all right, well, where was that one team we saw? Where did they go? Sometimes it's to injury, sometimes it's to coaching, sometimes it's something else. Um, But I'm very happy right now as a Giants fan. Taking down the Eagles always feels nice. And I can't remember the last time that our starters took victory formation against the Eagles starters. I can't even remember that because in times past when we've beaten the Eagles, it was their start. It wasn't their starters because they were resting their starters. And it was someone like, and it was what was that? That was Daniel Jones that beat up on the Eagles, right? Or no, it was the Davis Webb game.
The GOAT, the legacy game. That was like the best game ever.
Yeah, that was the Davis Webb
It was
game when
where
we
Kenny Galladay got his first touchdown ever. It's a giant. That was
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, no, that was I mean, we cooked the Eagles that game, but it was like, what was the point? That was the only like the second or third game they lost that season or whatever. So it's like whatever. So it was one of those, which is always fun to see a good guy number above bad guy number anyway, but even still, we saw the Giants go out their ones against our ones, and we won the football game. And can't remember the last time we have done that to the Philadelphia Eagles. Um, Now I want to talk about some of the rookies. Obviously, the rookies are all the talk when it comes to the New York Giants right now. Jackson Dart has completely changed the culture along with Cam Scattaboo, and Abdul Carter is kind of quietly doing some amazing things right now. Nothing that's really popping off the stat sheet, but he's winning most of his reps, and he's causing pressure, and he's allowing guys like Brian Burns to come in. And I think a lot of the times what they're trying to do is they're just like, "Yo, we are not gonna let Abdul Carter beat us," and then Brian Burns comes in with 2 sacks and that sort of thing. And then we get some more interceptions like Cordell Flott because we're putting on pressure, and that's just kind of what a guy like Abdul Carter can do. So who's your favorite rookie to watch right now, and just kind of give us some comments on that one.
Favorite rookie to watch right now? Probably is just a dual Carter. I don't know. A lot of people when they watch pass rushers, they just kind of look at the one stat that pops off, which is sacks, which doesn't really tell the story. But the one thing that Abdul has been doing the whole year is just winning his pass rush win rate and just applying a lot of pressure. Because at least going into this game, he was like the number one, if not the second, in terms of rookies of pressure and pass rush win rate. So just showing that he's getting there. The numbers will come eventually, but those really don't matter to me as much as just him applying pressure and doing his job. I think he's been also doing really well in the run game, which is kind of underrated. But
Mhm.
I don't know. He's like my favorite right now out of all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Overall, Abdul Carter's PFF grades came through at a 71, which is really good for a rookie. That's phenomenal. This was his PFF grades from the Thursday night game. His run defense, as you mentioned, where he's kind of quietly doing well in the run defense, that was a 70. And he had a 73.7 for his tackle PFF grade. So a lot of great stuff coming through from Abdul Carter. Very consistent, just winning his reps, dominating the man in front of him. Um, and the sacks will come, right? They will come. He had 3 total sacks, 2 were not sacks, sorry. He had 3 total tackles, two of which were solo tackles and two of which were assists. And when those come up as a half each, so it'll be three total. Um, yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from Abdul Carter. Um, I'm going to, and as much as I want to say Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart has been the guy, right? He's been, and we have a lot to talk about when it comes to Jackson Dart. But my favorite player right now to watch is Cameron Scadaboo out of Arizona State University. He is electric, and I will say this regarding my opinions on Cameron Scadaboo when we drafted him. You know, I was angry when we missed on Bucky Irving and took Tyrone Tracy Jr. instead. Um, I have thus been very satisfied with Tyrone Tracy's performance, and I like having him in this running back room. Would I prefer to have Bucky Irving? Yes. However, I'm happy with Tyrone Tracy Jr. But I do consider myself, I was right about Bucky Irving. I was on the Bucky Irving train seemingly before anyone else was. I was like, yo, this Bucky Irving, he's not just a cool name. I like what I'm seeing from Bucky Irving out of Oregon. And then it came last year's draft where we saw the New York Giants take Cameron Scadaboo. And I'm thinking to myself, Omarion Hampton is right there. Take Omarion Hampton. And then when we were able to trade up for Jackson Dart and we still had, what was it, our second round pick, I was thinking, that sounds like Omarion Hampton to me. He didn't fall to our second round pick, unfortunately. I don't believe he did. But still, I wanted Omarion Hampton a lot. Um, Come the fourth round, we take Cameron Scadaboo, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't see it. Um,
Who put you on
I
the tape
think,
though? I got you. I knew it.
mhm.
I knew it the whole time.
Well, you did put me on the tape, but the problem is I was thinking to myself the whole time. I was thinking trucking college players is all well and good. The minute he meets an NFL linebacker, his one and only quote unquote gimmick will die. Boy, was I wrong. Cam Scadaboo looks like he could run through the linebackers, the D tackles, and the goddamn mascot and the water boy all at once. He is unbelievable. And you know, his style of play, let's be honest, Cam Scadaboo is going to have a max 6-year career. You know, he's going to, you know, if it's brain damage that gets him, it'll be one thing, or it'll just be his ability to, at the age of 30, not be able to do the things he's doing now. And he won't be able to rely on anything else because he doesn't have the hulking size of a guy like Derrick Henry, who makes his living over trucking people, right? Right now, Cam Scadaboo has all that young fire where he's able to just be as the Eagle or who was it that described him as? I think it was somebody on the Saints that
Oh,
described him
Jamario
as like,
Davis.
yeah, Jamari Davis. He described him as a bad kid. It's like when you pick up a little kid that's being a bad kid and they're just kicking and screaming and they're flailing all over the place. That's what it's like to play against Cam Scadaboo. And I love that description because it's so accurate. I don't know if he'll be able to do that when he's 30, but he's 22 now or however old he is, and he's doing it. And the quality with Cameron Scadaboo that is different than how I felt with Tyrone Tracy is that I would have preferred Bucky Irving, but I'm okay with Tyrone Tracy. Short of Ashton Genty, there's not a single running back that was in that class that I would currently rather have than Cameron Scadaboo. That is including Omarion Hampton. And I may eat these words later. Omarion Hampton could be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Who knows? I have no idea. At this moment, on October 12th at 12:25 in the morning, I would absolutely prefer Cameron Scadaboo over any other running back in this class, short of Ashton Jeanty. So he's been phenomenal. Cam Scadaboo, 64.6 overall PFF grade. Not sure where they're getting that. So he was 74.1 in the pass game. He was 75.5 in the pass block game. Let's talk about it. I mean, his blocking is phenomenal. That just goes without saying. And they gave him a 57 grade for his in the run game. You said it was because of the amount of carries he had. Man, I don't know. I feel like the eye test should prove differently than that. I feel like he deserves a higher grade. What are your overall thoughts on Cam Scadaboo? I'm very happy with what I've seen from him.
Uh, I knew he was going to be this good. I loved him watching him at Arizona. I don't know, just watching the final playoff game Arizona had, just what he was able to do on the ground, but not only that, but in the air. I just didn't understand how he fell so far. I don't know. I felt like the only reason people didn't like him because of his size. But even then, most running backs aren't that tall. Some of them even aren't that big, even nowadays. But I don't know. I loved them from the beginning. That's why I sent you the tape because I'm like, this guy's him. He's a football player. He's exactly what we want. And he's just a different style back than Tracy. But I feel like what he does best is harder to coach. And what he doesn't do well is something that he can learn over time. Because the one thing he struggles with is it's all good to go north and south all the time, but sometimes there's just a wider hold if he took one cut, and
Yeah, you got
sometimes
to
he
pick your
just does
cuts.
not do that. He'll just keep running into the groove. Because I remember watching one play where he got like 3 yards. I'm like, that's all fine and dandy. But if he just made that one jump cut, he's going for 10, 20. He'll
Mhm.
figure it out, though. That's just something that comes with time,
Yeah.
getting used to playing in the NFL. But I think
Yeah.
he's been doing great. I've been loving every game.
And that might be a welcome to NFL moment too, right? Where in college, it's like, you know, you truck the first guy or you bang the first guy, pause,
Whoa.
and you can still rip off that 10, 20-yard run. Here it's like you bop the first guy and you stop, right? Not always going to be that way. We saw him grab a first down but after throwing a safety into the turf on the sideline. But it's going to happen more than in college. Those plays where, he tries to run over a linebacker and it just takes too much out of his momentum and he's just going to go down for 3 yards. Um, and you're right. That's something he can learn, picking his cuts, becoming a smarter runner, I think is a good way to describe it. Because right now, Cam Scadaboo is a class A dumbass, but he's our dumbass.
He got that re streak, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a dumbass, but he is our dumbass, and we love him. But he can get smarter. He can become a smarter runner, and I think you know a sophomore year Cam Scadaboo keeping that ability to run people over when he needs to, but that can also freeze a linebacker. Because if the expectation is that you need to brace for a hit and you need to stop in your tracks and get low, that's the perfect opportunity to break an ankle and jump cut and just completely get around him. Because if this linebacker is bracing for contact and you just decide, actually, I'm more mature of a runner now and I'm just going to go the fuck around you, that could pull his game to a completely different level. And I believe he can be an RB1 in this league for the remainder of his potentially short career. Um, but yeah, loving what I'm seeing out of Cam Scadaboo. Let's talk about the man. Let's talk about Anakin Skywalker himself. Let's talk about Yaxon Yart, aka Jackson Dart, aka Jackson Starter, and what a lot of Eagles fans were calling before the game Jackson Fart.
Did they actually call him Jackson
Oh
Fart?
yeah, but guess what? They got farted on.
Oh hell yeah!
Because Jackson Dart, when blitzed, had an 82.5 PFF grade. That's phenomenal when blitzed. He did not have the best PFF grades when not blitzed. He had decent grades when under pressure, and he also didn't have the best grades when kept clean. And I think what a lot of that is coming down to is his willingness to run, because when he was kept clean and when he was under pressure, his highest grade was his run grade. Kept clean, his run grade was 66.4, and when under pressure, his run grade was 70.5. And I think the thing is with Jackson Dart is that he trusts his body and he trusts his athleticism so much that if he doesn't see a clean, perfect, obvious go-to pass, he's going to break and he's going to go. And that's why his run grades look so good. But that's going to hurt his pass grade because, say, when under pressure, there may have been a guy that, by whatever metrics PFF uses, there may have been a guy that would have been a good pass for him to take, but he didn't take it. Instead, he decided to rip off a 30-yard run, touchdown run. That's going to dock his pass grade solely because he just simply decided to run the ball instead. Not mad about that at all. I totally get it. That stuff will come. Trusting your receivers, also dealing with Wandale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and Lil Jordan Humphrey, who turns out is not very little at all due to 6'4". He's a massive human being. Um, but yeah, loved what I saw from Jackson Dart. Poised, calm under pressure, was able to stay within himself and stick with what he was confident in, making the passes that he was sure of, and when he wasn't sure, using his legs, using his athleticism to make the play a positive play and gain yardage, if not a 30-yard touchdown run. So really happy with what I saw from him. Do you have any observations for Jackson Dart?
Mm, I have a little bit. You've kind of touched on a lot of it. I think the most impressive thing is just his maturity already. Just for a rookie to come out and not make as much mistakes as you see most rookies when they're in their first year do. It's just kind of so insanely impressive. It's exactly what we needed. Because if we had another rookie who just had the same problems with turnovers, getting flustered, I feel like it would just be the same story writing itself over again. So just having a guy who's more mature coming out of the draft so quickly is just insane.
With with the future context taken out, forget the last 5 years of Daniel Jones's time with the New York Giants. Rookie bid Daniel Jones versus rookie bid Jackson Dart. Without a doubt, Daniel Jones was very exciting as a rookie. He had that phenomenal game against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Um, and he showed a lot of promise in his rookie year. How are you feeling at this point in Jackson Dart's career versus how you felt at the same point in Daniel Jones's career? Would you say it's would you say it's similar confidence? Would you say you're more confident in Jackson Dart, taking into consideration his personality, his ability to handle the media, his maturity when it comes to his game, just it's just everything about the player? How would you compare the two experiences?
I think it's more confidence in Jackson Dart. I believe in the NFL that you have to have divas and you have to have personalities. And I think the prime position always will be quarterback. Just having a guy who's just yelling, screaming, getting all the people hyped, even the defense, because you'll see them on the sideline running up to the defense before they come out there, just banging their helmets, banging their shoulder pads, and just getting them fired up. Just having someone like that is just, it's on a whole nother level. Just transforms the whole team culture and environment.
Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree more. And a great way to compare the two is if you remember Daniel Jones's win against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Obviously, super elated, super happy. It was a really big comeback win too. Phenomenal game. That's a great game. That's something that Daniel Jones will always be able to hang his hat on for his Giants legacy. Is that game? That was a phenomenal game for him. Great rookie debut. Um, if you compare the reactions, Daniel Jones looks like a little kid. He looks like, I can't believe this is my life. Oh my God. Guys, I'm so happy. and that's well and good. If you compare that to Jackson Dart's experience with his Chargers win, also his rookie debut, well, his debut as a starter. I mean, he did have some I just questionable putting him out there just to hand the ball off in some of the Russell Wilson starts, whatever. His real rookie debut, Jackson Dart was already owning it, man. I mean, he's grittying in the fucking end zone. He's handshaking with his receivers. He's doing the sellies. He's owning it like he's already been here. And just a completely different vibe, completely different feeling when you have this rookie come in and this is who I am, this is what I'm about. I'm a dog. We're dogs. We're gonna win this shit together. We're gonna own this stuff as a team. Where you compare that to Daniel Jones, where it's OMG, OMG, we really did that. Yay, guys. Right? So couldn't agree more. I'm feeling more confident in Jackson Dart than I did in Daniel Jones at the same point in their careers as well. Just want to touch over some of the top performers of the Giants game as well. Andrew Thomas had the highest PFF grade out of any of the New York Giants on Thursday night. He came in at a 90 overall. Um, 90 overall grade. His pass block grade came in at an 80, and his run block grade came in at a 92. So Andrew Thomas is just fucking phenomenal as always. John Michael Schmitz was our second highest PFF grade, definitely showing some improvements there. Really happy with how he played. 78 overall, 81 in the pass block, 76 in the run block. And we know Jalen Carter wasn't in the game, but you can only play against the team they put out on the field, and it's still your responsibility to go out there and perform. So I don't take that away from any of these guys. Daniel Bellinger came up pretty good with a 78. And then there's Cam Scattaboo at fourth on the team with a 64.6, which I still feel like is severely underrating how he played because I feel like the eye test was a lot more impressive. Let's see here. Do you have any specific standout performances outside of the rookies or including the rookies that you would like to kind of touch on?
think the one guy pretty easy to mention, but quarter flat. Going into the season, looking at our cornerback room, I really didn't know if he will win out the job over Deontay Banks because we obviously knew Adebo at one, Drew Phillips at the slot, and it was just a big question mark like who was going to be that other outside guy. And he's just really come into his own. He's been probably our best corner, if not one of our better defensive players all year. It's just been showing game in and game out, and especially in this game where he's mostly being on Devontae Smith because Paulson Adebo is following AJ Brown. Just to put up the performance he did is just very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Cordell Flott came through with a 71 overall PFF grade. Obviously, he had that one interception there in the red zone, which I felt like he should have taken that to the house, but it looked like he was running a little slow. I don't know if he was getting tired after already running at 70 yards or whatever, or if he was waiting for a blocker, or if he was trying to juke or whatever. But either way, phenomenal. That was the nail in the coffin. Um, really like what I've been seeing out of Cordell Flott, and to kind of put context into that as well. Deontay Banks played 3 defensive snaps the entire game, and he played 5 snaps in special teams where he mostly played as a lead blocker for the return. So Deontay Banks has been all but eliminated essentially from the New York Giants defense. Um, don't really know what to say about that. He's been a complete and total bust. Um, Apparently the banks are totally open on Sundays. Actually, the banks are 100% open on Sundays. They are not closed at all. Paulson Adebo also had a pretty rough game, so having Cordell Flott coming through and giving the performance he did was really great. Also, shout out to Darius Muasau for being the highest graded defensive player on the team at an 89 overall. Really like what I'm seeing out of our Pacific Islander sophomore here, and I was saying what I was saying to you before we turned on the pod. I was like, man, if you're gonna take a stab at a seventh rounder, do it on a Pacific Islander. These guys, these they never seem to miss, man. They are always dogs. So I'm real happy with Darius Moose out. But I want to point out Brian Burns, who, although his PFF grade showed up pretty low at a 54, um, that really doesn't tell the whole story. He is a defensive player of the year candidate. He is playing himself into that conversation. I believe he's gonna go to the Pro Bowl. He is having such a phenomenal year, and you knew he was gonna have a coming into his second year in this system, and having a team built around him a little bit more. Um, just he had what did he have, 2 sacks yesterday? Just loving what we've been seeing from. Oh no, he had no sacks yesterday. He had no sacks yesterday, but he had a sack. Did he have 2 sacks against the Saints? I think he had 2 sacks against the Saints,
No, he had two
and he might.
sacks this game. He had two sacks.
Did he? He's not showing up with any sacks on the PFF chart.
I have the game stats open. He had two sacks.
Oh, okay. Well,
He actually had no
PFF.
sacks against the Saints.
Well, PFF is dropping
Dog.
the fucking ball. Then I don't
Exactly.
know what they're
PFF
talking
is dog shit.
about. Making me look like a dumbass.
PFF, if you're
Um,
watching this, fuck you.
yeah, exactly. um, Let me just double check and make sure I'm looking at stats from the Thursday night game and not from.
The New Orleans game. Yeah, because he had two sacks because he hit the Spider-Man celly again.
Oh man. I've been reading off PFF grades for the Saints game this entire time,
Wow.
which is funny because they have been shockingly accurate. I don't feel like anything has shown up that didn't make any sense. But either way, disregard, I guess, everything I've been saying about the PFF grades. Um, I don't feel like we talked about them too much. I feel like we've been mostly just talking about how we felt about them anyway. But either way, that's very disappointing. I'm very sorry to my viewers. I guess
Can't believe you.
they have not written an article regarding the PFF grades for the
You're getting
Eagles
an
game yet.
angry tweet later tonight. You're cooked.
I am gonna get an angry tweet. That's unbelievable. I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm very sorry to the.
You are not locked in. Holy.
I'm extremely embarrassed actually. But we all know PFF doesn't mean anything anyway, and I highly doubt anyone. That's why you said Brian Burns had no sacks.
I know. I was so confused. You said no sacks. And I'm like, I'm staring at the stat sheet
Well,
from the game,
I'm
and I'm like,
well,
two.
so this is what this is why I googled. I said Giants PFF grades Thursday night, and this was the first article that came up. And I didn't bother to look at when the article was written, October 6th.
Damn, they were in the future. They knew.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. Now that we've got that absolute debacle out of the way, why don't we talk about some realistic expectations for the Giants? Um, I have their schedule pulled up here, and I rest assured this will be correct.
I would hope that.
We can kind of just rapid fire this, or we can talk a little bit more in depth if you like.
I think we're just gonna
Um,
rapid fire it.
can just kind of rapid fire this because I do want to get into the overall league predictees for Sunday and Monday night. Giants currently sit at 2-4. but I think we are also on the uptick. So, I still have confidence that we can play into at least being a relevant team in December. Um, Next week we play the Denver Broncos, the 3-2 Denver Broncos. How are we feeling about that game on CBS?
Uh, that game is gonna be interesting. I think it really comes down to whose offense can score more. Because I think both of our defense right now are playing at a high level, but it's about the offense who can step up more. So, I still think I'm gonna give it to Broncos. I won't lie.
I'm gonna go against you. I think we can. I think we can get to the Denver Broncos. I think it was them that they also own one of the other Eagles losses, correct? It was
Yes,
them that beat the
yes,
Eagles as well. Yeah.
it was
So
them.
I feel like if it took a miraculous comeback by the Broncos to beat the Eagles, and we kind of just handled the Eagles. I'm gonna go off of transitive property of being better than the Eagles. And I'm going to go ahead and give the nod to the Giants on this one. I feel like Jackson Dart's going to ride this high, and he's going to ride this feeling. And I feel like Cam Scaboo's going to do the same. We have a long rest week that the Denver Broncos won't have, so we have a couple extra days of rest and getting our bodies right. Maybe we get Darius Slayton back in the lineup too. Um, and we all know Darius Slayton is good for at least one key drop in the second half, so that should be interesting. But I am gonna give it to the Giants on that one. New York Giants in Philadelphia. We have a quick turnaround. We play the Eagles just 2 weeks after our first meeting with them, but this time we'll be at the Link. How are we feeling about that one? Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox.
I think we got it. I think we have the recipe down for the Eagles. Only worrisome thing is if they can figure out their pass game, then it may be a long day. Because I think we have a handle on the run game for the most part. But I'll give us the win. I think we got it.
To me, it all depends on how the Eagles do during their game next Sunday, and they play the Vikings. Now, if the Eagles and they travel to Minnesota to play the Vikings before coming back home to play us, that'll be key as well. We're going on a road trip where we play the Broncos and then we play the Eagles. Both games are going to be on the road. They're going to play the Vikings on the road back home. So that means the Eagles are currently on a long road trip right now because they were well, I guess not a long road trip, but they were home for the Broncos and then they were away for and they'll be away for the Vikings. So they'll be coming back home after 2 games on the road. If they lose to the Vikings, I think the Giants will likely win that game as well. I'm feeling very confident in the Giants if the Eagles lose against the Vikings, because I feel like the Eagles are gonna do what the Eagles often do. We saw it not last year, but the year prior when they lost to the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs. Um, they just spiraled, and I feel like the Eagles spiral. I feel like Nick Sirianni loses the locker room quick when he does. Obviously, they were Super Bowl champions last year, and they were able to keep their squad together, and they were obviously the best team in football at that point. But I feel like if Nick Sirianni starts to let this locker room slip, and I feel like their new offensive coordinator Patullo is not really understanding it yet. They definitely miss Kellen Moore. Um, I feel like the Eagles can spiral out of control, and I feel like if they lose against the Vikings, I think they lose against us again. Whereas I feel like it doesn't matter if the Giants lose their game this week or next week, because I feel like Jackson Dart and Cam Scattergood and all the rookies and all the young guys, I feel like our locker room is a lot more willing to bounce back from a loss than the Eagles are. I feel like the Eagles are filled with a lot of divas and maybe not the best locker room environment. I feel like they're not as willing to bounce back from losses as much as we are. So um, I'm going to go ahead and throw it up in the air 50-50 in real, but I will predict the Giants to win that game. Then we are at home for the San Francisco 49ers. How do we feel about that one?
Oh, this is a weird game. I always want to
Sunday
count
at
the
1
49ers out,
p.m.
but I don't know, man. I think we win. I'm confident. I think if we beat the Eagles, we can go on a run.
The Niners are currently 4. They're a good squad right now,
Yeah.
even without Brock Purdy.
Oh, Brock Purdy's just Mac Jones.
Whoa, them's fighting words.
They can fight me all they want. Brock Purdy's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. Suck by the. He's trash.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like if Brock Purdy was a second round quarterback, people wouldn't nearly care about him as much. But because he's Mr. Irrelevant, I feel like people have somehow higher belief in him. So I'm gonna give the nod to the Niners on this one. I feel like we lose to the Niners here. I feel like Jackson Dart's gonna feel what it's like to lose at home. And because San Francisco, it's always their defense, right? They always seem to get to us on defense. They always seem to get through our line, and they always seem to give the quarterback a hard time. So, I'll go ahead and give the nod to the Niners. Maybe Brock Purdy will be back at that point. He probably should be back at that point. So, but I do think he was just ruled out for Sunday. So I don't think we're gonna see Brock Purdy this Sunday. So, who knows? Maybe if Brock Purdy comes back and he's not 100%, maybe we can sneak a win out of there, but I feel like that'll definitely be an upset if we beat them. So I'll give the nod to the Niners. New York Giants, then on the road again to Chicago, where they will face off the currently 2-2 Chicago Bears. Jackson Dart or Caleb Williams? Who do you got?
I got us. I think the Bears are still not there yet. Loki, they're kind of in the same situation as us. Still trying to get there, but I think they're at more of a disadvantage since they still have a first year head coach.
Yeah, I can see that argument. The only problem I will have is that the Caleb Williams to Roma Dunze connection on our secondary, I feel like is going to be Mondo crazy.
No, no, no. It's okay. I have a vision. Deontay Banks goes in. The bank is closed on Sunday. Think about
It's gonna be
it.
a Paulson Adio or Cordell Flott. It's
No, no,
not
no,
gonna
no.
be Deontay
The
Banks.
Banks comes out of nowhere. The bank is closed on Sunday.
I have more faith in Trey Hawkins to come out of nowhere. Is he even still on our team?
I
I actually
don't
have
think
no.
he's on the team. I don't
Just
think so.
he comes out anyway, just from the
He
stands.
just gets signed out. He's like, I'm here, guys. I can play.
I'll go ahead and give the nod to the Giants as well, though. I feel like this has a potential to be a pretty high scoring game. I'll even give a score prediction. I think the Giants win this game 38-2 against the Chicago Bears.
Two? Did you say
Yeah.
32?
Yeah, I said
Oh, you
32.
cut out. You cut out on the three, and I just heard
No,
two. I'm like,
no,
two? They say just the safety, that's it.
oh yeah, for sure. No, I think it'll be a 38-32 win for the Giants.
Oh,
That'll
okay.
be my prediction.
Bet.
The currently 2-1-1 Green Bay Packers, ties in the NFL are a disgrace, by the way. Equipped
100%.
with equipped with the now beloved by me Micah Parsons. Um, we will be at home for that game. How are we feeling about that one?
We are
A
getting
1 o'clock.
absolutely dicked down. I don't care how good we're playing. Their defense is terrifying, and I think our offensive line, outside of Andrew Thomas, is going to get dicked down. But that's okay. It's fine to have a loss every now and then.
I think we lose this game, but I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as you're thinking because we have so much experience against Micah Parsons. I don't think he's going to be a factor. I think we're going to have a really good game plan for him.
Rashawn Gary.
Um, yeah, well, true. But we have experience. I mean, we have experience against the Packers in general, and let's not forget the Tommy DeVito led
Okay.
Giants did beat the Packers in London. So I don't count us out against the Packers, but I do think we lose that game. New York Giants against the Detroit Lions. I think we can say this one pretty quickly here.
Oh yeah, it's a loss. We're losing.
Yeah, we lose
It's
this game
week
for sure.
12. They're gonna be fully put together by then. We're losing. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I think it would be a Chargers-esque win for us, where if we win, it'll be because the Lions look completely uncharacteristic. Like, as in, why are the Lions not putting up run? Why is Jared Goff missing Amon-Ra St. Brown wide open? Why is Jahmyr Gibbs getting stuffed by Darius Muasau? It's gonna not make sense if the Giants win this game. Obviously, any given Sunday, but I think the Lions will win that game. Then we are on the road to Foxborough, where we take on the young and up and coming, the currently 3-2 New England Patriots. How do you feel about this one?
I think this one's a big coin toss game. I think we can win it. I think they can win it. Uh, I would love to say us, but I just think at that point they might be better than us. So I would think go
Are
with the Patriots.
are they gonna have Gonzo back at that point? What's his injury status?
I have no idea. Maybe. I would
Well,
think so. It's a long time
I,
away.
d- I don't know what his injury status is right now. I don't even. He might have played. He might play this week. He might have played last week. I actually haven't been paying attention. But I do think the Giants win this game. I feel like there's something about the Patriots that I feel like the Giants, whether it's our legacy about it, whether it's just the vibes in the air. We haven't played against Jackson Dart yet, or we haven't played against Drake May yet. So
Oh yeah.
that's I think it'll be interesting for us. I do think the Giants can. I do think we'll pull this one out. I have a feeling this one will be a low score. I feel like the Patriots have a pretty solid
Like a
defense
13
on
to
them.
10,
I was
17
thinking like
14.
an 18-15
Where
situation.
did you get 18? It's a lot of field goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there could be a lot of defensive stops, a lot of field goals. Um, but I feel like the Giants can win that game. In years past, the Giants have lost this matchup a ton. We seem to always lose whenever we have this matchup, and I'm not really sure what the answer is to that. No matter how simple the matchup seems, it always seems like we lose. The Giants then have a bye week. What are your predictions for the Giants bye week? We seem to lose the bye week every year.
I think out of the bye week we'll see a new boat picture with the exciting whites, and then I'll go into the Great Depression again.
Pretty sure last year we had a bye week. I'm pretty sure Darius Slayton ruptured his soul while running or something. He went for a jog and like blew out his ankle. So that's been the trend for the New York Giants for their bye weeks. I do think we get things on track though. I think we win the bye week this year.
Hope so.
Uh, New York Giants at home against the Washington Commanders for what feels like our 57th 1 o'clock game in a row. And spoiler alert, we don't have any other games outside of the 1 o'clock time slot at all.
No, no, no. We don't. We might not know that. There's two
Well,
flex. Two
we
flex.
we could get flexed. We could get
Yeah.
flexed. But as it stands now, we're nothing but 1 o'clock games.
1 o'clock
Um,
Warriors.
that's true. So 1 o'clock on Fox News. We're home against the Commanders. How are we feeling about this one?
I do think we win this. I think we do split the games with the Commanders. Because at this point in the year, Jaden Daniels will be back. We will all probably be mostly healthy for the most part. I just think by
Mhm.
then we'll have our head on right and we'll be able to get the win.
Yeah, we should have Micah McFadden back at this point. That's going to be a key return for us. Um, I feel like, yeah, no, I think we can split with the Commanders here. Um, so Then we are staying at home against the Minnesota Vikings, the JJ McCarthy led Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson's coming to town. TJ Hawk. How are we feeling about this game?
I have no idea. I think it's a coin toss. I do think the Vikings are a lot better than what they've been showing. I think it just takes time. With a younger quarterback who did not play at all his rookie year, I might give it to the Vikings because the next two games I want to pick us. So I don't think we go on that big of a run.
Yeah, I think we lose to the Vikings as well. I feel like Justin Jefferson is going to run laps around our secondary, and yeah, I'm not confident in this game. I feel like this is a game where it's going to seem like a winnable game, and then we're just going to get blown out. That's the vibe I'm getting from Vikings Giants in this situation. So mark that one as a loss. But the real trap game is next week. The week after that, Giants are on the road to the Raiders. This is a total trap game. The Raiders are really, really bad, but that's why it could be close. Can the Giants stop Ashton GT? What do you think?
I hope so. I'm going in person to that game. And if they lose, I might just end my life in game, of course. But we it's a game we should win. Are we gonna win? I hope so. I don't know. It would be such a Giants loss to lose to the Raiders for
Yeah.
absolutely no reason. But I'm still gonna take us with full confidence.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Giants do win this game just based on the fact that we should win this game. It's obviously a trap game. There's no way around it. It's totally a trap game. However, you can't bet against the favorites in that situation. I feel like the Giants will be favored in this matchup, and I think it'll be a heavy favorite as well. I am confident that the Giants will win this game. And last but not least, we end the season off against the Dallas Cowboys at home. We already had one game against the Dallas Cowboys with Jackson Dart at the helm, or with a sorry, we lost a very contentious game in overtime to the leg of Brandon Aubrey with Russell Wilson at the helm. How do we feel about taking them on at home with Jackson Dart?
I think we won 100%. The big reason we lost that game was because of the turnovers, which Jackson Dart, outside of the weird Saints game, hasn't shown those turnovers that Russell Wilson did in the few games that he played. So I think we win. As long as we don't as long as we don't lose to another 60-yard field goal again for like the 10th billion time. Please.
I, I think Brandon Aubrey's going to kick a 70-yard field goal this season. I'm putting it up right now. This season, he's going to kick it from 70. Um, I think the Giants win this game, and I think there's two situations we can. One situation is that, um, maybe the Giants are rolling, and maybe the Cowboys are checked out. Maybe the Cowboys are missing the playoffs. Maybe they are down in the muck. They've lost their confidence, and and the Giants can come in and scrape out an easy dub in January. Another situation we could win this game is if the Dallas Cowboys go on an absolute tear. They are for sure making the playoffs, and they rest their starters. Um, those are two situations I think the Giants win that game. I can't think of many situations in which the Giants lose, unless the Cowboys are fighting for their lives for a playoff spot, and the Giants have some key injuries that maybe we are suffering from. Maybe we're down a running back, maybe we're down a corner, maybe we're down an offensive lineman. Um, so I think there's more ways the Giants win than there are ways that the Giants lose. So for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Giants to round out their season with the W at home against the Dallas Cowboys. So as a quick roundup, I have a win against the Broncos. I have a win against the Eagles, a loss against the 49ers, a win against the Bears, lost to the Packers and Lions, a win against the Patriots, a win against the Commanders. I don't think I said it, but I think it's a loss against the Vikings. I might have said it, but I do think it's a loss against the Vikings, and then two more wins to end off the season. So I have that as seven more wins on the season, which would put us at 9-8, which is the high end of the scale of which I thought the Giants could achieve going into this season. And I think you had one extra loss in there than I did. So you have 8-9.
Yes.
How are you feeling about that record overall? Do you think those are attainable? Do you think they're realistic?
I think it's realistic. I think it's the record that we need for Mr. Dayball to keep his job and Mr. Sean, whatever the fuck his name is, to keep his job.
Shane.
Joe Schoen. That's how you say it, I think.
No, it's
But
Shane.
it is this
Shane.
Shane? I always hear
Shane.
Schoen for some reason. But I think that's the record they need to keep their job. Bare minimum 8-9. But I think 9-8 top end. I think they can make it. It's realistic. Is it probable? We don't know yet. It all
Right.
depends.
It all depends on if we handle business against the teams we need to handle our business against. Because if we lose a trap game to the Raiders, we lose to the Bears, we don't split with the Commanders, those are things that could really bring that record down. I think there's a couple for sure dubs on this list. I think there's a couple unsure dubs on this list. So, but yeah, I'm confident in 9-8, confident in 8-9. 9-8, you're talking maybe two, which, depending on how the NFC falls, you could see Jackson Dart in a wild card spot, which would be pretty freaking exciting.
Electric.
That would be Electrorino. Anyway, that's enough about the Giants. Let's do our quick predictees for the upcoming games this Sunday and Monday. Do you have that list pulled up?
Yep. Do you want me to read it off?
I want you to read it off, and I want you to start off with your predictions each time.
All right. So the first game on the list, I believe it is actually in London, England. It's going to be at 8:30. It's going to be Denver, technically at New York.
I will not be awake.
I think this one's pretty obvious. I'm going to take Denver to win.
Yeah, I'll be taking Denver as well for that one.
Also, I'll be keeping a list of this, so next time we do the pod, we can see who had the better record, by the way.
Sounds good. Yeah. Not much to say about this one. I think Denver absolutely manhandles that fuckhead over there in New York. I can't even think of his name.
Aaron Glenn?
No, the quarterback.
Oh, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
I thought you were talking the coach. of like, damn, I like their coach though. He's chill.
No, not Aaron Glenn. Yeah, Justin Fields. I think he gets manhandled. Yeah, no, for sure. Denver.
Right, the next game is Arizona at Indianapolis. I think this game's a lot closer than what people think, just because of how good Indy's been. But I don't know. I still love Arizona deep down in my heart.
I love Arizona. They're one of my West Coast teams. Love them to death. I have a Arizona fan friend on Twitter. Shout out Nettles. And they are completely convinced that the Cardinals are going to get dog walked. They have some key injuries. Jacoby Brissett will be starting for the Cardinals. They have key running back injuries. We saw Amari DiMarcado fumble that ball at the 1-yard line because he wanted to showboat. So we have perhaps some locker room attitude strife going on with the Eagles, maybe some with the Cardinals, some lack of confidence there. So, and obviously, he who shall not be named is having a career year on the Cardinals or on the Colts right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Colts on this one.
Yep. Me too. Next game is New England at New Orleans. I think this one's pretty obvious. I think I'm just going to take New England and move on.
Yeah, Yeah, New England move on for sure. I think New Orleans a bad team. I think we beat them, but I think New Orleans a bad team. I think New England is on the up. I think they're riding a high right now, positive for the first time since Tom Brady has been on their team. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick New England.
Next game, it's going to be Chargers at Miami. I think there's a little bit more of a conversation. I still think I am going to pick the Chargers, even though I think this is a definitely big upset game that could happen.
Mhm. I'm looking for opportunities to go different from you because I want there to be variety. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and hope that there are more games that I can go against you on in upcoming here
Oh, trust me, there
because
will be.
yeah, because I cannot pick Tua to wait a minute, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Is this who's the home team?
It's at Miami. Chargers at
At
Miami.
Miami. Oh, the Chargers have traditionally traveled well, but Miami plays pretty good at home. Jalen Waddle's doing pretty well. What is the Dolphins' current record?
Uh they are currently 1-4. The only team they've
Oh,
beaten is the booty cheek team, the Jets.
okay, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and lock in Chargers, and I'm gonna go ahead and lock in Chargers. That's all I had to hear.
I that's it. I heard enough. Moving on. Hi. The next game is Cleveland at Pittsburgh. I'm going to pick Cleveland. I think even with a rookie quarterback, I think their defense will carry. And for some reason, no matter how good Pittsburgh is, they always find at least one game to lose to Cleveland. It just always happens every year, and I'm just gonna pick it to be this game.
There is absolutely no way that Aaron Rodgers will suit up against the Cleveland fucking Browns, play against Dylan goddamn Gabriel, and lose a football game. I'm taking Steelers by a million.
That's a crazy statement. We'll talk. Let's see how it ends up.
I'm taking Steelers by a million.
Hey, at least we're getting differentiating answers. I The next game is Dallas at Carolina. Low key,
Low key, hold on. We might
I'm a hater, but I want to pick. I'm picking Carolina. I don't care if Dallas looks better. I believe in my boy Bryce Young, and low key, they haven't looked too bad. I mean they're 2-3. They beat the Dolphins and the Falcons with a grain of salt. They did get fucked, and I mean fucked by the Patriots, but they were close against the Cardinals. I think the record doesn't completely show the whole story, and I think they can pull away. I believe they have no CD to worry about.
for those of you who don't know, I actually live in South Carolina, so I'm surrounded by a lot of Carolina Panthers fans. So I'm exposed to that team a lot, so therefore I have some confidence in them. And this is probably my least ball knowledge pick that I'm gonna have tonight. But I am going to also pick the Carolina Panthers to win this game. Not, and this is not Giants fan rooting against the Cowboys, but I do believe that Xavier Leggett, Thielen. No, Thielen's back with the Vikings now.
Yeah,
Um, but Bryce Young and
Tet.
Chuba Hubbard is yeah, and Tet. Chuba Hubbard is still injured, but Rico Dowdle fucking game last week,
Two
baby.
like he like
So
239 all yards, which is crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
So
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna bet on Rico Dowdle to move that football, absolutely move the rock against his former team in the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe Xavier Leggett and Tetaroa will also haul it in from time to time. Maybe Bryce Young can have a chance to see over his own offensive line on occasion. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Carolina Panthers.
I The next game is Seattle at Jacksonville. I think this
Ooh,
one's a 50. This is
ooh,
a really good
this
game.
is yeah, this is a great one. This is a great one.
I think I'm gonna take. My heart wants to take Jacksonville, but I just think Seattle might pull it out. I don't know. They just look more complete. Jacksonville, I still have questions about him. Like, what are they doing with Travis Hunter? He's kind of useless, but moving on type
The
questions. But
the question for me is, does Brian Thomas Jr. turn it around? Because he hasn't had that game yet. He hasn't been the guy yet, right? Does BTJ turn it around? And I just don't know if he does. And Zach Charbonnet and um what's his name? The Walker, Kenneth Walker. They have been a phenomenal duo. When one doesn't pop off, the other one does. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a phenomenal wide receiver. He's top 10 in the NFL. And I think Sam Darnold is criminally underrated. Yes, I am a Darnold truther. Um, I'm going to go ahead and pick Seattle on this one.
mm, okay, okay. I feel like this next game's pretty easy. Los Angeles at Baltimore. LA, thoughts? Moving on. Baltimore sucks right now. They don't have Lamar still, I'm pretty sure. And their defense looks like Swiss cheese.
Um, who's at quarterback for them right now?
Boy, I wish I knew. I can pull it up.
Tim Boyle.
Oh, the goat. Now hold on, that's a goated ass. That's a goat right there. Oh no, it's Cooper Rush. Actually, they might have switched. He played last game. I don't know if he's gonna play again because he was horrible. But they have Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley right now.
Tyler Huntley. Fuck it. I'll go Baltimore. I'll say Baltimore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
We'll say it's a get right game for them. I think they have a lot of talent on that team. I think they're going to pound the rock more with Henry. Um, maybe get a little Zay Flowers in motion situation, pick up some yardage that way. Um, the more and more that they are separated from Lamar Jackson, the more and more they're going to have to traditional game plan with passing the ball and running the ball with a running back instead of relying on Lamar's athleticism. So the more and more they're removed from Lamar Jackson, the more and more I think their game plan will develop. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is kind of a get right / settle in game for um, Baltimore, and I have faith in my boy Nate Wiggins out of Clemson to lock down Puka Nakua.
Damn, who cares about Clemson?
Fuck you. And I think I'll go Baltimore on this one. I think
Like,
they're too good to stay bad for too long.
that's fair. That's fair. Next game is kind of a toilet bowl. It's Tennessee at Raiders. Uh,
Raiders,
Raiders? I'm gonna take Tennessee. Low key.
bro.
No, no
Your
explanation.
number one pick
Whoa,
quarterback
chill.
literally went on a press conference and said, "I ain't gonna lie to y'all, we asked."
No.
There is
But think
there.
about it. The one thing the Raiders did well the last couple of games is run the ball. They got to deal with Josh Simmons now. He's about to eat Genty up. And then if you stop the run game, you have to rely on Eugene Smith to throw the ball. He throws the ball like ass. He's leading the league in interceptions.
Bro said Eugene Smith.
I ain't giving him Cheeto. He don't deserve that shit anymore. He is a hot bowl of garbage. I'm taking
um,
the Tennessee Titans to upset though. I believe.
nah, I think the Tennessee offense is just way too putrid. I think Cam Ward is having too many growing pains. I don't think he's going to settle in this week. I think Tennessee might not win a game this year. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Raiders.
All right. Next game, Cincinnati at Green Bay. Joe Flacco, fresh off the plane, couple days. Is he gonna roll it down? Hell no. I am taking Green Bay. There's no way Joe Flacco and that garbage offensive line win against Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. I feel bad for Joe Flacco. They really sent him over there just to get injured because his old ass ain't gonna be able to run away from them forever.
me tell you a little story, Saspin.
Oh no.
Let me tell you a little story. The Cleveland Browns,
Okay.
circa 2 years ago, were a hopeless franchise. Midway through the season, trade acquisition comes through. Who is that? Who is that name? Name is Super Bowl champion Joe fucking Flacco. And what does Joe Flacco do? Oh, my favorite part was when he flacked all over him. And then he said, it's flacking time. He single handedly carried the stinky, smelly, putrid Cleveland Browns to a playoff berth. Sassman, a playoff berth. Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns.
I
Joe
don't.
Flacco hasn't had a wide receiving core to throw to like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in, I don't know, 15 years.
Hear what you're putting down, but I have a
I,
counter
I,
argument. Their
I
defense
say,
can't stop shit. What is it?
I,
What are they gonna do?
I say you never count out the kid. I say Joe Flacco goes in there, he puts on those tiger stripes, and he's gonna say, "Fuck it, we ball." He's
That
gonna toss some absolute piss missiles to Jamar Chase downfield, and I think it's gonna be the biggest upset of the year. I think the Bengals, led by Joe Steal Yo Girl Flacco, are gonna win the football game.
if that happens, I will drive down to South Carolina and personally give you the sloppiest toppy ever. Because there ain't no way on God's green earth that they win that football game. And if they do, the
And
Packers should quit football forever.
you know what, Saspin? I'm gonna be on my front lawn with a Hawaiian shirt on and some flip flops waiting for you.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
I'll be waiting.
Whatever you say, but better be
I take
full ready.
Joe Flacco. I take Joe Flacco. You never count out the Flacco. Never
I'm
count
gonna
him
count
out
them out.
against.
Oh my god, that
If
ain't
if
happening.
if Jordan Love can lose to Tommy DeVito, he can lose to Joe Flacco.
Okay,
Next game.
next game. Now we're getting to some real bangers coming up. We got San Francisco at Tampa Bay. I think I'm just gonna
To
say it's
me,
pretty easy. Tampa Bay.
to me, this is no question. Yeah, Tampa Bay.
I
I
just
think
think
they.
Baker's on. He's on Demon Watch. He's gonna win MVP.
Yeah, I think if Baker Mayfield keeps playing the way he's going to play, I think he's MVP. If he goes to the Super Bowl, he's going to be Super Bowl MVP. Um, Baker Mayfield's my favorite football player in the NFL outside of the Giants. I don't know if I've said that publicly ever. It's not something I've hid ever. Maybe it's just never come up. Baker Mayfield's my favorite football player outside of the New York Football Giants organization. I love his game. I think he's phenomenal. I'm very happy with him, and he's playing like an absolute demon. Um, yeah, I think Tampa Bay goes in, and I think it's actually not going to be very close. I think Tampa Bay wins this game by over 15 points.
Next game is Detroit at Kansas City. It's a pretty good game. I still think
This is going to
Detroit
be a great game.
wins.
I think Detroit wins too. I think Kansas City is not Kansas City anymore. I think they're slumping. I think they are discombobulated. Now they can always get it right. They can always figure it out. I think Travis Kelsey is nearing retirement. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is having a down year, and they haven't been able to pound the rock with Isaiah Pacheco at all. So I think um, I do think this will be a Detroit win.
Pretty simple, pretty easy. And we got Buffalo at Atlanta. Buffalo.
Trap game alert. Wee trap game
Hell
alert.
yeah.
I think obviously Buffalo is the favorites here, but I think Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson could also just fucking sling the rock across the field and stun the Buffalo Bills. And that's why I'm going to go with my southpaw from Washington. I'm going to go with Michael Penix
I'm
and
still
Bijan
gonna go with
Robinson.
Buffalo. I want to be different. I do think
I'm
Michael
going to
Penis can do it. I believe in him.
I think the Peenster and Bijan Mustard are going to win the game.
Oh
I think
god,
they're
I
going to win the
forgot he has
football
a
game.
mustard commercial.
I think they are going to stun the world, and I think Buffalo is going to fall into this trap game. I think Keon Coleman is going to have a couple drops, and I think the Falcons are going to win that game.
In the final game, Monday night, Chicago at Washington.
That's actually, I think that might be a really good game.
I think so too. I think it is Jaden Daniels' returning game. He's going to be back for that.
Hmm.
And the last time they played, Chicago lost catastrophically off of a Hail Mary where their cornerback was taunting the crowd before the play. I loved that. It was all over Twitter, all over Instagram. It was so funny. I think I am going to take kind of the underdog in Chicago. They look pretty good the last couple of games. And maybe, maybe Caleb Bloom's figuring it out. Maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I'm gonna go with Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, not because of Caleb Williams, but you know how I love my Huskies. I absolutely adore Roma Dunze. In fact, I was on the record and I said I'd rather have Roma Dunze over Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors had a much better rookie season than Roma Dunze, but I think, obviously we lost Malik Neighbors tragically to his knee injury, but I think leading up to that point, I think Roma Dunze had a much better start to the season. So I think it's been a wash so far. I think Roma Dunze is probably a top 7 wide receiver in the NFL in my eyes. Um, I'm gonna take. I'm also going to take the Chicago Bears to somewhat stun the Washington Commanders, and I think they're gonna have a really good air game against them because I don't really believe in that secondary at Washington. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bears.
Just a little side note before we end it off here. They have the Packers as a favorite by 13 and a half, by the way. That's in, that's insane. Everyone else is like single digit, not even close
Hey,
to that.
hey, it don't matter.
Okay,
It
bud.
don't matter. This is gonna be the Flacken game.
The
Okay, people are
flacking game.
gonna people are going to remember this as Joe Flacco saying it's Flacken time, and then Flacco. All right, this
If
is
they
going
if
to
they
be
win, I'll buy a Bengals Flacco jersey. How about that?
no. If they win, you're gonna buy me a Bengals Flacco
Well,
jersey.
now hold on there. I would want to keep that. That's a legendary
No,
jersey right there. You know how iconic
a
that's gonna be.
doubter. You as a doubter are not allowed to keep that jersey.
What?
If the Bengals win that game, you are buying me a Flacco jersey. It's not even a question. You have two options. You can either buy me a Flacco jersey or you can buy me a Giants jersey with any one of our rookies on the back, whichever one.
Oh, a Russell Wilson jersey. You're right. My bad.
I said a rookie. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, a Russell Wilson jersey would go absolutely crazy.
Yeah, low key. I wanted to get one when he first signed, but then at the same time, I was like, I'm not making the same mistake I did with Darren Waller. So
No, yeah. Except Darren Waller's balling out in Miami
I
now.
know I have him on fantasy. I hope he comes through for me because I had Zach Ertz instead, and he put up 0 and then like 6 points in back-to-back weeks. I still
He's,
won both
he's
weeks, so it didn't matter.
someone in our league wants to trade Fergie, and they said Fergie. By the way, he said Fergie best fantasy tight end.
I need a
I'm like,
fucking running back, bro. I already said I have too many receivers right now, and I'm like, hey, can I get a running back, please?
hey, you want one of mine? I'll deal.
Uh, depends on who and depends on what you want.
If it's the same league, I can't remember. I'm in 2 leagues. I can't remember when you and
It's
I
the
are
league
in.
where
I
you're like 1-4. Cause
Yes. So if that's the one, then I have Saquon Barkley and Rico Dowdle.
okay, just
So
send me a trade offer. Do any of the
yeah,
receivers that I have on the bench, or even some of the starting ones on our league. I have too many receivers. That's the problem right now.
we could do a deal. We can figure it out. I might send you.
I'm sad I left Wando on the bench. I was gonna start him. Like last second, I was like, maybe I should because he's like our best receiver now. I was like, you know what? I'll,
But
I'll
the
just leave him there. I'll leave him there.
but the I benched Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that's crazy. You started Cam though. I saw that, and he
Yeah, I
put up
did
like
start Cam.
32 or
I did
33,
start
some
Cam,
shit like that. Insane.
but I 31 and but I benched Jackson Dart, which is fine because I have Baker. So it's
Yeah,
okay. I still believe in Baker. I like but I was just saying to myself, I was just like I, I'm I don't you didn't know how it was going to happen, but Baker Mayfield will be on the trade block for me, I think, in this league, and I'm just gonna run it with Jackson Dart the rest of the way.
bro. Are you
'Cause
cooked? Because you're 1-4. Are you gonna be? Is there a way you make the playoffs?
I think there's a way. I just need to. I can't believe I'm 1-4. It's because I have like some crazy. So Malik Neighbors got injured. Oh no, that's a
Yeah.
different league. That's a different league. Different league.
Okay.
Um. Oh no, it's not. Well, then I don't have Saquon Barkley in that league.
No,
Then
you have
my
Scat,
running backs are Scat and
Dowdle, Chuba, and then Kenneth.
and Chuba and Kenneth. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you have Aaron Jones on IR, obviously, still.
Yeah, that's right. That's that league. Um. Yeah, no, Malik absolutely cooked me getting injured.
Yeah, that would happen to most people. That's unlucky.
Yeah, so
I'm 4-1, by the way. I gotta gloat a little bit. I'm cooking.
yeah, your auto pick roster, by the way.
Hey, I not my fault. I had work and I went to bed.
Literally your fault. You missed the draft.
I was Hamimi. I was tired, bro. It's okay. This is the goat. I'm still pissed though. The 1 week I lost. The reason I lost was because of an injury. So it is what it is, though. Because CD got hurt that week. Which if I won that, I would be 5-0 and top of the league. But that's okay. It is what it is. I digress and I move on. I'm still at the top of the league. Still him.
Not for long. My generational run will be complete.
I believe you can sneak in. It would be fun. I
Yeah,
believe
no,
in you.
I think my team can figure it out. I've had some underperformers. And
Also,
I've also benched some key players. I benched DK Metcalf that one year. He dropped like 37 points, and I was really pissed. But
whoever Adrian Akram is, fuck that guy. He needs to stop sending me shit trades. Started to piss
I
me off.
you want to listen to this shit trade, and this will be where we wrap up. I just got a response on a shit trade I sent somebody just to kind of test the water, see how it goes. And turns out they did not like my offer.
How bad was it? What'd they say?
Oh, actually, no, that wasn't a response. So someone asked me if they wanted to if I would be willing to trade for Scat or for trade Scat away. And I basically told him not really. And I said I was straight up. I was like not really willing to trade Scat. I was like only if you lose the trade. And and then I said Puka would have to be involved. I said if I was trading Scat, I told him Puka would have to be involved, and he said yeah, no, which I can't blame him.
Also,
But I actually
Femboys Love My Penix has been the most trade hungry guy ever. He sent me
I
3
know.
different trades for 2 of different my running backs, which I told him I need running backs. I've said it in the whole thing of the league. I said I need a running back. Stop sending. He keeps trying to take CMC. And he keeps offering me dog shit. Stop. I don't want your shit. I don't want your
Wait,
garbage.
that's who I told that's who I told need Puka for Scat is the same guy.
Yeah, he has even he offered me Cooper Cup, CJ Stroud, and then who the fuck Ollie Gordon is. And then he just offered Cooper Cup, and then he only offered Keenan Allen. I'm like, why is the trade progressively getting worse? That doesn't mean I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, you won't take Ollie Gordon? How about how about a how about a kicker? How will that move the needle?
Oh, wait, he's kind of cooking. Hold on. I'm just getting
How about
tired of these offers of like, I'm not giving you CMC for
how about
garbage.
how about the Raiders defense?
Does that move your needle at all?
So listen to this trade. I in this league I don't have Cam Scadaboo, so I want to trade for him.
Okay.
So I asked for Cam Scadaboo and Amika Ibuka.
Okay.
I am willing to trade out Rico Dowdle, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., and Dalton Kincaid. Is that a dog shit trade or is it actually low key not bad?
Now hit me one more time.
Be-
Yeah.
So I'm trading away. I'm giving away Rico Dowdle, Jalen Waddle, Brian Thomas Jr., and Dalton Kincaid for Emeka Ibuka and Cam Scatterboo.
I guess it depends on the rest of their team. If they heavily rely on like Mbuka, then maybe that's probably where they're hesitant.
So they
I still
they
think it's a good trade for both sides.
they start both Emeka Ibuka and Cam Scatterboo, and I have Brian Thomas Jr. and Dalton Kincaid both on my bench. So Cam Scatterboo would immediately replace Rico Dowdle, and Emeka Ibuka replace Jalen Waddle, and and then I would lose Brian Thomas Jr. and Dalton Kincaid because I have Trey McBride as my tight end, so I don't need Dalton Kincaid, and BTJ is slumping, so I'm not really missing him.
I mean, if
So
he's accepting that, I think he's taking the upside of BTJ,
yeah,
which I wouldn't. I don't. I think it's not that bad. I think it's a fair
yeah,
trade.
he hasn't responded to it, and I sent him this trade 2 days ago, so I don't think he's gonna respond, but I wasn't sure if that was like a dog shit trade, but Amika Ibuka hasn't had a game 18 points yet this season.
Yeah.
So he's been really fucking good. You know, he has the GOAT throwing to him, future Hall of Famer Baker Mayfield. So
Oh, the goat.
dude, the 39-year-old Baker Mayfield Giants jersey is gonna go fucking crazy.
Okay, buddy, you might need to calm down there. That would be a crazy jersey, though.
Oh,
Elite jersey pull.
dude, I would buy it immediately. It would be a day one purchase.
It's okay. Down in like in 20 years, when I pull up to a Giants game wearing a Waller jersey, it's gonna be elite. I'm telling you.
Yeah, people are gonna say you know ball.
It's gonna be like this guy knew it. He knew it all along.
I'm never gonna forget that Buffalo game, bro.
Oh my god, that was the game. The obvious PI of all PIs, and they don't call it.
Obvious PI of all PIs. Darren Waller didn't fight off. He didn't focus on high pointing the ball. He was too worried about fighting off the contact. And then Tyrod Taylor can't fucking throw a check down to Saquon Barkley. Jesus fucking Christ. Ugh.
Average Giants
That
memory.
that'll be a what if game forever. But alrighty. Well, I think that just about wraps up this episode of the Getting the Stop podcast. Do you have any parting words you'd like to say to our faithful viewer?
Don't buy Giants jerseys without proper research and proper waiting time. Because my Giants jersey collection is elite garbage. I have Saquon, I have OBJ, I have Darren Waller. The only two jerseys that save my collection is the color rush white Eli jersey I have, and the Hall of Fame, the old Giants blue jersey of Strahan, which I got last Christmas. Outside of that, I need to stop buying jerseys.
I'm not a huge jersey guy, so the only one I have is Kayvon Thibodeau, and he is kind of yet to be seen whether or not that'll be a good pull. I think even if he turns out as a bust, I think in 20 years people are gonna be like, "Yo, a Tibbs jersey, let's go."
Loki,
And
you
then
go
they're
hard.
all,
The five with the Tibbs, and Loki is playing good
yeah,
this year.
and
Like I
and
fuck
and
with it.
everyone's just gonna be like, "Yo, you remember that game against Washington?" And I'll be like, "Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that Taylor Heineke pussy."
Fuck that guy.
He was just like, "I buy a pair of Jordans of the colors of every team I beat. I already know I'm picking out some blue and red ones right now." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, fuck you, buddy. How about that?"
What an elite game. That's a memory.
Oh, I love that game. Oh, it's so good. Oh, fuck Taylor Heineke. I hate that guy. I forgot he existed. Oh man, let's go. I'm now I'm even happier that I just remembered that game. Anyway, thank you for listening to the Getting the Stop podcast. I've been Derek. This has been Saspin. Hope to see you guys in the next one, hopefully sooner than a year from now. So,
Hopefully we start doing this bi-weekly again, because if not,
yeah,
then I might forget.
we might lose our Spotify Pro.
No,
No.
no. So I gotta upload it and download it quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone have a good night. Saspin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all
Always.
for listening. Bye bye.